Assalamu alaikum. My name is Abdul Khalik. Dear friends, our past is the major, or maybe the biggest cause of our unhappiness, of our sadness, of our anxiety, of our anger, of our psychological complications. So, the past of most people, the past life of most people, that is not satisfactory at all in their own eyes. It is not satisfactory at all in their own eyes. They are not satisfied with that. They are unhappy with that. It seems that they have a lot of anger, lot of bitterness, lot of harsh feelings as far their past is concerned. And some of the people who has caused trouble, trauma, so many of the complications, pain, trouble. So all of that a person keep remembering. Not only that, as far our own mistakes are concerned, as far our own wrong decisions, blunders, bad attitudes are concerned. So both of these things are seen creating the pain and the trouble for us in our present life. We are really unhappy. We are really sad. A very good ratio, a very high ratio of the people, my dear friends and fellows, that needs to be talked about. It should be taken. It should be taken seriously in the sense that it is spoiling my life. It is the spoiling a life of ours. So the past is gone, but the present is also being spoiled, and the future too is at stake. For what? For the reason that I have done so many of the mistakes and the wrong decisions taken in my previous life, and also that certain people have caused trouble and pain, have caused trauma in my previous life. So for the two of these reasons, I am absolutely unhappy. As for my own wrong decisions are concerned, I might forget it, but I might not feel as much of pain out of that. But as for the trauma created by the other people, that it seems is unforgettable, and I am constantly feeling pain about that. Every time I think about my previous life, every time I think about that particular person or the trauma they caused in my life, I feel quite unhappy, quite sad, and feel quite a lot of anxious and anxiety as well, my dear friends and fellows. That is really an undesirable situation. It should not be so, and we need to do something serious and something wise about that. And this is the reason that we have chosen it as a topic of our today's discussion, as a topic of our today's talk. So let's do that. And like always, I have selected a very useful and beneficial article on the subject, and this article is the opinion of an expert, and it will tell us that whatever wrong we have been doing and how to avoid that, how to stop feeling the pain of that. This article, which has been captioned as seven behaviors of people who are truly at peace with their past. Seven behaviors of people who are truly at peace with their past. This beautiful and useful article has been written by Tina Fey. Tina Fey is a well known researcher and author, but as far as today's article is concerned, it is really something very good. And let's look upon that particular article. First of all, she says they let go of grudges. So what are these grudges? I am of the view that these grudges does not allow us to become a satisfied and a happy person. Rather, we keep feeling the pain every time we remember about a particular person, and somebody talks about them. We feel quite unhappy, quite sad, and we are really in our trouble, the psychological trouble. So for all that reason, these people who are truly at peace with themselves, these people let go of grudges. They don't keep grudge against anyone else in their mind and heart. not? Because they know it. Because they know it that it is more dangerous. Maybe it is 100 times more painful and troublesome for me myself, and not for that particular person at all. So if this be the case, if I am harming myself, if I am damaging my own interest, if at all I am spoiling my own peace of mind, my own happiness, why not to ditch it? Why not to get rid of it? So as far these grudges are concerned, our grudges, the grudges in our mind, so these are the biggest trouble, the biggest pain. So it is extremely important to get rid of that. So this is one of the seven behaviors of the people who are truly at peace with their past. Now let's go toward the second one. Here, the author says they self-reflect without judgment. They do think about their past. They do think about their own life, but they don't make the judgment. But they don't. They seek advice from that, from the bad experiences and the mistakes of their past. But they don't criticize themselves. They don't become judgmental, neither about themselves nor about other people. But as for the seeking of advice is concerned, they think that this is the profit and this is the outcome, this is the labor, this is the wages, this is the fruit of that particular mistake by me, or a kind of bad thing done with my me by someone else. So dear friend, they do reflect on they do reflect, they self reflect, but they don't avoid the reflection of self reflection. But at the same time, they don't become harsh, they don't criticize, they don't they don't become judgmental, neither about other people, neither about someone else, nor about they themselves. As for the third behavior of the people who are truly at peace with they themselves, this third behavior is they accept what cannot be changed. There is a great philosophy here. They accept what cannot be changed. I think that is something which is extremely wise. If at all I can't change something, why not? Why not to accept this fact? I don't mean that we should start promoting the same thing. Not at all. But at least I can become silent. I can admit that okay, I am unable to change it. Once I am unable to change it, why not to leave it? Why to feel fretting and frowning over that? Why to feel moaning and groaning about that? Why to keep criticizing about that? So all of that creates the pain and the anxiety, and this is the enemy of my own psychological mental peace. Why not to get rid of this? Rather, I shall accept that whatever I can't change, I will accept that. They accept what they cannot change. Now, the number four behavior of the people who are truly at peace with themselves, this behavior is they live in the present. They live in the present. Yes, indeed. Neither they live in the past nor they live in the future. As for the past life regrets are concerned, these are there, but they don't dwell on that. They fully embrace the present moment. They fully embrace the present moment and be at peace with their past. They fully embrace the present moment. They learn from their past mistake, but they don't dwell on that. They don't live in in their previous life. They don't keep remembering frequently or very often. They don't remember it so often, and neither they live in their future. They are not worrisome. They are not worrying about their future. They learn from their past mistake, but as far their future is concerned, they plan as good as they can. They prepare as good as they can. They create the self discipline. They create they don't overthink. They don't live in the past or the future. Rather, they focus on the present moment. And that was the number four behavior of the people who are truly at peace with they themselves. Now, the number five behavior of these people is they speak about the past without anger. Yes, anytime and every time they do have to talk, they do speak, but without anger. Absolutely, there are no anger, no trace of bitterness and anger about the people who caused the trauma. Yes, no traces of anger or bitterness about the people who caused the trauma in their life. I think that is something which can give us 100% assurance that we shall be we shall be truly at peace with we ourselves, and not only with we ourselves, rather with other people as well. I think so. Rather about the people who has caused the trouble, the pain in their previous life. Dear friend, there is a very beautiful example, and I shall like to put it forward. We all know Nelson Mandela, the former president of South Africa, and the Nobel laureate. This person was put in the jail for 26 long years, the whole of his youth. What did happen? Once when he was out, when he was freed, he was eating from a restaurant along with a few other people. Then he saw another person sitting in the same hall and eating. Now the person looks upon Nelson Mandela and starts shivering and feel very much unhappy and unhappy and upset and felt a lot of fear. What did happen? Nelson upon Mandela looked upon him and sent a person that asked that particular person to come here, to bring his food here and eat at our table. And later on, once that person was gone, Nelson Mandela told his companions at that time that this person used to urinate upon me once I was there in the jail. So, this is the reason that he was so much afraid upon seeing me here. But I didn't do anything. Rather, he acted in very generous manner. Not only that Nelson Mandela forgave him, rather he invited him to be at his table and to eat there. So now, the number six behavior of the people who are truly at peace with their past, they set healthy boundaries. Yes, indeed, we should not, we don't need to become a people pleaser. I think that there must be a point when we should say no and enough is enough. I don't allow you to move forward. It does not mean that we become at war with other people, but at least politely, firmly, very firmly, and absolutely firmly, we can tell another person that this is the place, this is the point where you do have to stop, and I don't allow you to come forward, to move over, to come toward me. Not at all. I won't be allowing that, because this is the my boundary line, and enough is enough. My boundary line means my boundary line, and it does not mean that we start fighting with someone else, but fighting sensibly, diplomatically, intellectually, and that is what we need to adopt. They set healthy boundaries. And the seventh behavior of the people who are truly at peace with themselves is they prioritize self-care. Yes, self-care is very important. If at all we don't take care of ourselves, who else is going to do that? No one else remain with us 24/7. So for this reason, I think it is my own first obligation, my own first priority to take care of myself. I have certain spiritual needs. I need to provide them stuff for that. I need to entertain that. I have certain emotional need and I need to fulfill. I should try to fulfill. I need to provide all those necessities, my emotional need, and then are my psychological, are the mental energy, mental need, psychological need. I need to fulfill that. And still there are physical needs of mine, and I should be trying, I should be doing my best to do all that. But let me tell you one thing which is extremely important. That one thing is that we should not become the self-indulgent person at all. This self-indulgence, that is extremely dangerous. We must not be doing it at all. So that was a highly useful and a beneficial article, and the caption of this very beneficial article is seven behaviors of people who are truly at peace with their past. This very useful article was written by Tina Fey. Tina Fey is a well-known researcher and author. So I enjoyed it really, and there are seven important and major advices for me for my life. Thank you.